Jesus Christ, really?
Don't forget to become a member of UnrealEntGaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Seth?
I already joined his Patreon today. Tons of great stuff on there, actually. But did you really have to blow up the city?
Yes.
Blew up the domino. You blew up the dominoes and you're laughing. Do you realize the f***ing crisis here?
And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
Well, color me surprised, as despite all the years I've known and have been by Lord Beerus' side, I had never witnessed anything quite like what I'm seeing taking place before me, for Lord Beerus was right to have stood his ground in wanting to train himself the way he did. But with less than an hour remaining, and with Gohan being at the height of his potential alongside Lord Beerus, if they wish to complete their training here, will they only need to give it everything they have if they hope to see this through until the end.
As our story now continues, following the initial training session involving both God of Destruction Beerus and Ultimate Beast Gohan, now with Angel, Ivaco, and Whis having to look on, as with their final moments during this training session now begins to wind on down, was when Whis went on to then quickly chime in. Well, in all my years, I never would have thought that I ever would come to see the day where this would ever go and happen to Lord Beerus, but I do suppose that this was what you've been hoping to come to see, especially with Gohan's new Ultimate Beast transformation, which is truly remarkable, Whis continues. For his power has surged to unprecedented levels that I never would have thought would have been possible for him to go and reach, and as I do also believe that, judging based from what I can see take place out there, that Gohan now may in fact actually be far stronger than Lord Beerus now. But what are your thoughts on this entire situation, Ivaco? And more importantly, does Lord Beerus have what it takes to survive this and evolve in response to Gohan's newly discovered and unlocked evolution? And the reason why I ask is because if he doesn't, then I'm afraid that Gohan is going to overtake him as time continues to wind on down, with Ivaco responding, "The Saiyan mortal Gohan's new Ultimate Beast form represents the peak of what a hybrid like him can achieve by merging together the very nature of what makes him so unique by comparison to his pure-blood counterparts, as this form that he is currently wielding is the culmination of his heritage, creating a force that is both powerful and incredibly potent, as his power now indeed appears to be above that of a destroyer, and with Lord Beerus going as far as to sense this immense power and for him to now experience it for himself," Ivaco continues, "has only now went as far as to push him into a flight or fight mode, as this moment will be extremely crucial in determining whether he will evolve to meet this challenge in this Ultimate Beast Gohan, or if he will simply go as far as to crumble under the pressure of falling short to match it, but it'll only be a matter of time now before we can tell," as Whis went on to then continue, "Interesting, and with the amount of time that they both have remaining out there, do you think that it'll still be possible for Lord Beerus to reach his true potential and survive until the very end, or will either Gohan finish Lord Beerus off before he could go and do so, or at least run him down until time expires?" with Ivaco responding, "Unless he wishes to reach his former glory and recapture the title that Lord Beerus once held, then he will have no other choice than to push himself even harder. But even while Lord Beerus faces one of the greatest challenges of his existence against the mortal Gohan, I can also start to feel a shift within his spirit, which is a sign that something is awakening deep within him. But if Beerus fails to rise to the occasion and overcome the Saiyan," Ivaco continues, "then he will never find the inner strength that he once had to ever become the destroyer that he is hoping to become. And while your God of Destruction had made his choice to not keep up with the training needed to remain where he once was, if Lord Beerus does not find a similar resolve that the mortal had used in order to fully break through, then he will be utterly obliterated as a result of his failure, as Beerus was then shown crashing on down and having to slide near the lava, with Whis responding, "Well, I don't doubt Lord Beerus' ability to overcome such a surprising yet extremely difficult challenge that is placed right down in front of him, and while I know that he hasn't stuck to his training in a very long time before asking me to go and train him again, I have no doubt in my mind that Lord Beerus could still go and do this," as Beerus went on to then sit on up by then quickly responding, "Oh, and just how in the world could things possibly end up turning out to be like this? First it was Reno and now Goku's son. Oh, this is just embarrassing to watch, because how could I, the one who was considered to be one of the strongest gods of destruction among them all, ultimately wind up in being reduced to this? Oh, it just boils my blood just having to think about it," Beerus continues. "But I cannot allow for this to be the limit of my potential, especially not against a mortal such as the one whose father and I still have a score to settle. And with the former gods revived, I must not let myself fall behind in having any of those destroyers overshadow me again. You know, I never in my wildest dreams would have ever had expected for a scenario like this, where I was the one who was in control in a battle against you, to have take place," Gohan responds. "But maybe now you could understand and see the nature of what my potential is for yourself when I say that everything that my father had ever spoken about me was true, and all that was ever needed in order for me to reach such a level was nothing more than a push. But how about you, Lord Beerus? Because if I was able to evolve, then why can't you?" Ultimate Beast Gohan questions. "Because if there was something that you were able to see come from deep inside of me, then why is it that you aren't able to evolve as well? For that shouldn't be the case, because out of everyone that I know," Gohan continues, "surely I would figure that Universe 7's God of Destruction would be able to do the same, and so what is stopping you, Lord Beerus? Because if it's not fear that's holding you back, then what is it? Is it doubt that's troubling you? Trauma? Because whatever is pulling you down, you've got to go and let go," as Beerus went on to then stick his arm out by then continuing, "Oh, don't you dare go and try to lecture me on who it is that I am, along with what you think I'd need to go and do in order to advance myself in this battle against you, Saiyan. Because although you may in fact be the strongest living mortal that I have ever seen and experienced in battle before, which includes Goku and Vegeta, that does not ultimately mean that just because you are, that I'm going to allow for you to go and break me, mortal. For there is much more to me that you are yet to be made aware of, but I'll ensure that you go and find that out for yourself sooner rather than later, Gohan, and so now bring it on!" To which it was only upon Beerus now being shown firing multiple energy blasts at Ultimate Beast Gohan, with Gohan being shown deflecting them, was when Beerus then went on to continue, "Go on now, let's just see what you can do now that you've ascended beyond what your father and Vegeta were able to achieve, because if you think for 1 second that I'm going to yield before you, then you have another thing coming, because a Destroyer God's wrath is unlike any other, and that includes tolerating the toughest of challenges in order to get to where we want to be." But it was only despite with Beerus' best efforts in attempting to attack Gohan was when Gohan had gone as far as to dodge Beerus' attack by then responding, "And that is exactly why you are struggling to regain control against me after dropping me the first few times that you did, Lord Beerus. Because whatever seems to be eating away at you from within is now starting to cloud your ability to fight," Gohan continues. "And so whether it's because you are losing to me in battle, or whether it was due to your loss against Universe 13's God of Destruction, Lord Reno, you have to go and take matters into account here and just let it go," Gohan says. "Because it was even you yourself that had once said, without a balanced mind and a burning desire to become the pinnacle of what you can possibly be, then all you'll end up becoming is just an empty shell of a warrior that you once were," Gohan went on to then knee Beerus in the stomach before elbowing him back down. "And I know that is not who you are at your very core, because just as much as you have helped push me," Gohan continues, "I am going to hereby go and do the same until you have awakened the true nature of the destroyer that you wish to become again, Lord Beerus. And if anyone knows anything about letting yourself drift off into the void and neglect their training, it's me," Gohan continues. "And that is because I was once there where you are now, Lord Beerus, but within those moments where I felt hopeless and alone, I only then remembered on all those whom I was fighting to protect, and if you don't have anything something that you would deem to be worthy of fighting for, Gohan says, then at least you can try and find the resolve that is needed to fight for your own peace of mind. But then, it was only once again now from out of nowhere, before Ultimate Beast Gohan even had the chance to finish his sentence, was where Angel of Aqua had gone as far as to throw his staff and hitting Gohan in the face before then having to tell him, once again, the two of you seem to not understand what it is that I say when I tell you to continue your battle until I have given you the orders to end your training on my command. And so until I've given you both the order to stand down or to stop, you will continue to engage until the remaining time that you both have left is over. Ouch, gosh, that really hurt, you know, Gohan responds. You could have just at least warned me that you were going to hit me with that thing so I'd know to simply continue. I will go and give you no such warnings, mortal, of Aqua went on to then point out by continuing. So just because you may have found your motive to evolve and transform doesn't mean that your god of destruction has either. Now I will not warn either of you again. Do you understand me? Now resume. As Gohan went on to then look on down by then responding, well then if that's the case, then I'm going to leave it all up to this and hope that you'll respond in time with some sort of breakthrough, Lord Beerus. Because if my potential as being half Saiyan and half Earthling was able to guide me into coming this far, Gohan continues, then I can only imagine on where you'd be if you also try to do the same. And so, I just hope you know that I'm not going to hold back with this next attack either, and so I hope you understand, Lord Beerus. In which it was only just upon with Gohan now beginning to charge up for the special beam cannon was when Beerus then went on to say to himself, this can't be the limits of what I have become throughout the years, especially for me to fall before a mortal warrior like this with no means of being able to fight back or do anything against him, for this is not something that I could just willingly go and blindly accept either. For I was once known as being a destroyer whose very nature and reputation had commanded the respect of all those who shared a similar title to my own, and so I cannot allow for this to be on how it is that I will be remembered as a god of destruction. So how was I able to do it before? As perhaps Whis was right. To reclaim my title as being the strongest god, I must remember Whis' teachings on allowing for my heart and my body to remain tranquil, while my mind is ever only solely focused on absolute destruction, Beerus continues. But how could I master this ability when all I know is how to do the complete opposite of what it means to remain calm and stable? As perhaps this was maybe on why I was never able to master such a technique and allow for myself to grow in what Whis had been trying to teach me, as perhaps it was my own doubt that had led me into becoming who I am just as I am like this. For Whis had always emphasized the importance of calmness and singular focus during battle, as I had often overlooked it because destruction was all that I knew, but now I must internalize his teachings and free myself of any and all distractions, or else I will end up losing myself within the voids of my own failure forever. Whoa, hold on now, Ultimate Beast Gohan quickly went on to respond upon having to notice something. Could it really be happening? Because I'm sensing a massive shift beginning to take place from deep within Lord Beerus' spirit, almost like he appears to be swelling with tremendous levels of heat that's stemming from his very core. Well, even now, if this is going to be the moment of truth, Lord Beerus, then I hope that you are able to make it count before I blast you. As Beerus went on to then sit on up by then responding, no, Saiyan, for you will not be given the chance to succeed, because despite with you being an extremely prodigious warrior who I may have overlooked in my past once before, I will go and ensure you here and now that I will not be overlooking you or anyone else ever again, especially not while I still have so much left to prove to so many who doubted my ability to do so. To which it was only upon with Gohan nearly shown having to fire as Beerus went on to then stick his arm out in Hakai and Gohan's special beam cannon was where even Whis himself had began to notice a sudden and massive change begin to take place, as Whis went on to then quickly intervene. Now wait just a minute, this isn't anything that I have ever sensed coming from Lord Beerus before, even when he was within the prime of his godhood, and so this is quite surprising, as Gohan then went on to respond, "Whoa, well would you look at that? What a sudden shift and enormous power that I'm sensing. Yes, that's it. That's the way, Lord Beerus. Now whatever you are feeling deep down within you that might be troubling you or causing you to stray away from your path, just remember to just simply let it go," as Whis went on to then quickly chime back in, "Wait a second, could that really be what I think it is? Is it possible that Lord Beerus may have done what I've been hoping that he would be able to do for so many years now, Avako? Well, if anyone would know anything about what this is that we are sensed coming from Lord Beerus," Avako responds, "then it's us, Whis, so it's possible." To which moments later, with Beerus now shown having to rise back up as a mysterious aura now begins to circulate around him, was when Beerus then went on to respond, "I have grown very wary of sitting idly by and allowing for myself to become a doormat for others to walk all over me, whether they'd be mortals or destroyers, and so the cosmos needs a reminder of who I truly am, for there will be no more complacency, no more games. For it is time that I awaken my full potential and remind the entire multiverse on just why I am one of the most feared destroyers that has ever existed. But to do this, I must relax my soul and place my heart at ease like Whis had once told me to do, because if I was able to use this power that even your father, who has currently mastered it, can go and use, then I know that I too can regain the focus that is needed to go and use it again myself. For I am Lord Beerus, and I am the very embodiment of both destruction and focus. And as long as I remain, I will never allow for anyone to ever smear my title as God ever again. And while I have grown complacent in allowing myself to be overshadowed once before," Beerus went on to then suddenly power up, "now I will rise and show the cosmos on why I am the strongest god of destruction among them all, and to be what I was that I was always destined to become, and that is the best among the absolute best and the most respected and feared deity among them all. Yes, that's the way, and so now let's go and do on what it is that we came here to do. And since you're wide open, here goes then, Lord Beerus." To which upon Gohan now shown taking a swing, it was only just then from out of nowhere, with Beerus then shown having to quickly and surprisingly grab onto Ultimate Beast Gohan's punch, was when Beerus then went on to respond, "I'd go and slow it down and watch what it is that is coming out of your mouth, Saiyan, for you aren't the only one here who wields the ability to evolve themselves far beyond your previous limitations, and so that's enough. For your words will only be able to get you so far at this point, because as strong as you are and as surprising as you may be when standing across from you from the battlefield, Gohan, I am in no such mood to be playing any more games around here, and now that you and I appear to be at our absolute pinnacle of where we would possibly want to be, let us go and now find out and seeing on just which one of us has the mightier power," with Gohan then responding, "Amazing, you even look much bigger than how it was that you were just shown looking a few moments ago, and so now we're talking. So then, got any cool new names for this freaky looking form of yours, or what, Lord Beerus?" with Gohan shown backing up, with Beerus responding, "I'm not someone who is too fancy on names, but since my resolve appears to have merged together the very nature of my destructive power combined with the already pre-existing knowledge that I had of Ultra Instincts, you can just go and refer to me now as Ultra Beerus," with Gohan responding, "Ultra, huh? Well, at least you're not shy on giving yourself a pretty cool name then." Ultra, Whis went on to then question, for even when Lord Beerus was shown to be in his prime, I never recalled him ever having to look like this, which could only mean that he's done it. He was finally able to be shown sustaining himself and combining the lessons that I have taught him since being assigned to him, but is it possible that Lord Beerus could be far stronger than even how he was shown being within his prime, as Ivalco then went on to respond, "He is, because this now is his prime, and with both the mortal and the destroyer now at the apex of their power, they have less than 55 minutes remaining until they can leave, and so now we will watch as they will demonstrate these powers firsthand, as we spin on to then clap by responding, "Well, this is just unbelievable! Well done, Lord Beerus, well done indeed. And while I never would have expected for the outcome of your evolution to turn out to be like this, I couldn't be any happier to now see you go beyond as to where you once were, as well as even managing to go far beyond your prime as well. I wouldn't go and celebrate just yet," Angel of Aqua went on to then quickly chime back in. "For now we will have to wait and see on if they have what it takes to survive and endure the last minutes of their training sessions," to which upon both Ultra Beerus and Ultimate Beast Gohan now shown powering up was when Gohan then went on to respond, "Well, now that you and I were fully able to go the distance in finding a way to evolve ourselves and having us both come this far, I want to now go and see on which one of our evolutions is truly the strongest, and in order for that to happen, we'll need to go and push ourselves to the very edges of our limits to do it, and so I'm ready, Lord Beerus. Because now that I have ascended into a level that allows for me to not only compete against gods, but best them with how I was able to be shown besting you a few moments ago, I just want you to go and know that it's been an honor, Lord Beerus, and so I'm ready. But in case you aren't sure, then I just also want to go and remind you that I hope that you fight with everything that you have and don't hold anything back against me, because I just want you to know personally that I won't be shown having to do so here against you either myself. And now that I'm dead set on having to do this, are you ready?" With Beerus responding, "As the era of my complacency is now far behind me as we prepare for our final confrontation here, I just want you to know that I promise to push this Ultimate Beast form of yours to the absolute extremes, because not only do I also wish to know on which one of our evolutions is truly the mightiest, but I also vow that I will never again neglect my training after this, for this battle here will be a testament to our true strength in finding out on just which one of us is truly the strongest. And while I now understand on what it was that was hindering my growth by preventing me in seeing the bigger picture, I no longer have any doubts within my mind that I am the stronger warrior between us, Gohan. And for us to wield such power while your father and the others are off dealing with some of the other destroyers elsewhere, I can assure you here and now that I will not be holding anything back against you until this is over. As it was only right then and there now, during that moment, where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Story of the Resurrected Fallen Gods of Destruction, the Universe 17 Saga, Manga Chapter number 6 Special, then comes to a close.
Well, actually, I'll go ahead and take it from here, as I do want to go as far as to address something very important with our dear viewers at the moment. As before I go and give you the following information, if you aren't already a member of Unreal's Patreon community, then you are truly missing out on so much without you even knowing, because not only is the next episode already on the page, but if you want to support all of the manga content that you see and gain access to tons of exclusives along the way that range from a variety of different things, then we do encourage for you all to become members of our Patreon community today, for we will link everything down within the description box below and pinned comment section as well. Now, I will go as far as to say that although I am extremely shocked to see the progress that Lord Beerus has made, especially while devoting himself into focusing solely on his training and training only, with Gohan by his side as a suitable training partner, and with Lord Beerus now adapting the principles of both his destructive nature and the harmony of Ultra Instinct merged within it, I can only hope that his body will be able to hold out long enough for Lord Beerus to grow better accustomed to this newly discovered power of his, for you do not want to miss out on what is about to happen coming up next. So we hope that you all enjoyed today's video, as before you leave, do make sure to give this video a thumbs up by smashing that like button on your way out, as well as subscribing to UnrealEntGaming's channel in case you are new around here. We thank you all for watching and hope you all have a wonderful day, everyone, as we'll see you all in the next one.
Hello. Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to UnrealEntGaming?
Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch.
Roshi.
Silent Cell, me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? You dirty bitch.
Roshi, the fuck?
God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell.
and we're demonetized.
Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.